Well, look at this, John. The Moosie is north, no, actually west of Prince George right now. And it's running a little bit better. There's still some things I want to work on. But I've done so much. I'll show you here some of the things so far that I've done. And a lot of it has been me myself. Anyways, that's a new battery here. That's a new battery here. That's a new alternator there. Blue cable new, relay here new. This vehicle, in case you didn't know, is there's supposed to be a ground negative to the frame and a ground negative to the engine, and that was pretty important. The radiator is new. That plastic piece is new. And again, you know, it leaked the roof the first year I had it, so I had it fixed twice the second time because they didn't do a great job the first time. Same thing with the rear brakes. They were in horrible shape, and it was fixed 2-3 times because the parking brake cable broke, their new one, because the connection of another cable was crappy. So I didn't do the front brakes, which are pretty much due soon, but I just don't brake a lot. The engine compression is still pretty good. The engine oil doesn't really change color, doesn't really burn oil. Transmission starting to have a little leak, but still not enough to really have to refill it. And your propane tank is old and rusty, but it never leaks because it's like I hardly use it. When I try to refill it, it barely costs like $5. I pretty much just cook with it. I've never turned on the furnace, but I might at some point. Now that they understand the electrical cables more, even if I don't have solar panels, I would, John, probably buy, when I have money, one new deep cycle at a time and put in the back. I don't know if you can see on the roof is those things that cover the windows too. Because the second time they fixed the roof, I had them do that just to help make sure there's not too much water going around there. And also there's wood, I don't know if you can see, but there's wood that would accommodate solar panels. But it's a mess back there the way they did all the electrical stuff, and the converter might not even work properly. But I'm still, you know, like I would never sell it cheap now because I work so much and I know so much about it now, especially in the last month really, of breaking down worse than usual and being towed, is it 2 or 3 times in the last month in Quesnel. And I just renewed the membership and I went for the premium to take pictures as well for free for passport and have more mileage because of the north of where I am. Just the mileage is more. And so yeah, I mean, it's been a year now, John, that I've only lived in there, including the winter. But if, you know, I would like to really solve the issue of either the furnace or just having a consistent place to park it for the winter, because it doesn't look like I'll go to my dad's house again this winter. So anyways, yeah, it's been a lot of work. Like it was in rough shape, but I'm still grateful for it. But I mean, a lot of people said, John, I got screwed buying it. And I say, well, I would have gotten more screwed being homeless, right? Because of BC society and the way they work and the corruption of the price of things. So because you allowed the payment plan, it allowed me not to be homeless. And a lot of people say, oh, you could have had a much better one for $5,000. Yeah, but you never know, even with the much better one, what would have broken down. One thing I really like about the motorhome, though, is the, you know, the shape of the engine and transmission. You can tell that they're going to last longer. I just got to take care of it more. And I've learned so much. There's still other things I did, like the throttle body sensor. That was a really hard thing to change because the location of this, for that is something that often gets changed after 15 years. I'm still going to look into the computer, because if some of the resistors in the computer have melted a bit or gone really bad, and they usually would after 15 years, and it's an 89, so if the computer has never been replaced, then that's something that I could do myself with a welding gun, and because I learned how to do that with YouTube, and that might make it run better. But I also saw that the exhaust manifold on the right that makes the noise, that has a leak kind of in a crack, I also noticed a couple of times I opened the center console in the middle to see the engine, is that it actually is coming loose. Like the screws are keep getting loose, so it won't be that hard, hopefully, to take it off. But it was really hard to do with the spark plugs and the cables that I've done myself. First time I did the first 5, and the 6th one took 2 hours. And then I went somewhere where the guy installed my alternator for me, and I said, can we take it off? And I'm gonna do the other 2 because you got to go by through there. So now it's got 8 new spark plugs and 8 cables that are new, ignition cables, and new distributor cap. So that helps a lot. And I've got a few other parts I haven't installed yet. But, you know, like taking out the cables, I could see they weren't really the right ones. And the spark plugs, I could tell that maybe 2 of them had maybe even more corrosion than others. Like maybe you had a tune-up at the pass where they might not have done all 8. And now I know why people don't want to charge, quote, a cheap price for tune-ups on this, because it's so hard to reach some of the things on here. Like the exhaust manifold would be hard to get out if the screws are tight. And also the spark plugs, they're not easy to reach. So anyways, I'm proud that after I installed the last 2 spark plugs yesterday that I gave it a try and kept going from Quesnel to here. And I'm going to take a break here and maybe go to a campground more west of here tomorrow.